Hello everybody, I hope the visual on this is okay because I can't actually see at the moment. The glare's on the screen, but it should be alright. Trying to escape the mid-morning sun a little bit. I'm sitting in my food forest at the moment. There's not much going on because it's winter, so there's not really any green or anything to look at. But anyway, so I've been doing a bit of reading and listening and stuff lately on lots of different topics. The Australian Constitution is very interesting, but in particular on diets and what people are doing that is successful and maybe not so successful, and it's quite interesting stuff. So I kind of wanted to discuss a little bit and see what you guys think. But it seems that most of these diets do work as such. And I'm talking about diets for healing or diets for health rather than diets for losing weight and those sorts of things, or gaining weight, but more diets for getting rid of pathogens and disease. And I've been finding some pretty interesting stuff actually, and I have referenced a couple of the people in the title of this video for that reason, so that you can go and look them up yourself and decide for yourself what you think about all this sort of stuff. And the reason that I've been reading about this, I mean, I've always had some mentors, if you like, or people that I look to for different advice on different things, because I am a bit of a holistic person and treat myself holistically with food and herbs and tinctures and creams and all those sorts of things that are not conventional medicine, because conventional medicine cannot do anything for me now apart from painkillers, and I don't really want to take too many of them because they don't do the liver any good, and our livers these days are already compromised. So that's my choice, is to not to take the painkillers, but that's the only treatment that they can give me for my particular disease conventionally. So I've gone the more holistic herbal and food medicine direction. So anyway, so I think we'll start in alphabetical order, maybe. I'm not sure. We probably won't go alphabetical order, but we'll start with Aajonus, who's a very interesting man who eats spoiled meat. So he actually eats like rotted, decayed meat. He leaves it in jars for a year or so and then he'll eat it. And I mean, to me that doesn't make sense. It's supposed to attract all the bad bugs, so they go and eat that meat and then they come out with the meat, and that's what's supposed to heal you, is what I understand from the theory. He also believes in raw honey, which I also find to be beneficial, and dairy, and all those sorts of animal products he believes in. But what I also discovered through people talking about Aajonus, not Aajonus himself, is that animal-borne viruses are very unlikely to infect humans. I would say almost impossible, just from reading stuff in that direction. And I'm not going to go on to any conspiracy theories on how viruses could be created and so forth and injected into us through our annual shots or whatever. You can go and find out all about that for yourself, but there you go. That was just something that I was reading as far as Aajonus goes, because I would have thought, as a person who doesn't know a lot about animal products as such, I'm not huge on meat. I eat meat, but I'm not huge on promoting it as a healing food. But that's his biggest thing, and it works. It does work. Scientifically they can't prove it, but science, see, this is where we get a bit unstuck, is we're told all through school that science is the answer to everything and science is the be all and end all, but actually there's a lot that it doesn't know yet, and we have to be aware of that and sort of be a bit more open to things that maybe aren't proven yet, or maybe can't be proven yet. So just another bit of thought there. As far as science goes, I don't hold a lot of faith in things that are said to be bad for us because it's not scientifically proven. Anyway, moving on. So his diet of eating this spoiled food works for him, has worked for his son, has worked for many, many other people, curing many different ailments. And, you know, to me it sounds a little bit crazy. I don't want to say crazy because that's probably not the right word, but it sounds very counterproductive to me, because meat carries a lot of pathogens in itself. So to me it was kind of like, oh, this is really interesting. And then of course going on to talking about, I mean, you know, there's lots of people that have lots of different opinions on things, but the tangents that kind of come off that was talking about the likelihood of us catching animal viruses unless they're injected into us, and also what we're told about eating these kinds of products with these bacteria and things in them. Now, the other interesting one that I have been reading recently is the GAP diet. Now, we are going in alphabetical order because these are the sort of three main ones that I've been sort of looking at. I looked at the GAP diet a long time ago, and it's sort of more to do with autism and brain type ailments, and that was very interesting as well. That's not spoiled meat, by the way. That's more livers and offal type meats curing conditions, and it works too. There's lots of success stories. You can go and have a look yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go and look at the lady behind the GAP diet, watch her videos, you know, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. I'm just telling you what I have seen, but it's up to you to make your own choices. So her diet is a high fat type diet, and it's believed that the fats in the brain enjoy this sort of diet, and that's how it sort of works in a nutshell kind of idea. There's a lot more to it. Eating liver improves the liver and that sort of thing. There is a theory that Aajonus also has, that eating different organs improves the organs in the human itself and stuff like that. So definitely do your own research. But yeah, that's another diet that is working for some people, which is interesting because it's a meat-based diet. Then you have the medical medium. I think his name's Anthony Will, but I'm sure if he watches this he'll correct me on that if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's not that important. If you want to look up that fella, medical medium, and he believes in, well, a range of different things, but his main thing he's known for is his cleanses. So the celery juice cleanse, the heavy metal cleanse, the liver rescue cleanse, there's a few of them, quite a few of them. And he actually writes very lengthy, detailed books on these things. The other two that I have mentioned, the Aajonus has a book, and I believe the GAP diet has a couple of books as well. So you can obviously go to the library and get those books out, or go to your bookstore, or go to I know that the medical medium's books are on iBooks, but I'm not sure on the others. I haven't really looked that much into it as far as the ebooks goes, but certainly they do have books out that you can read. And I found that one aligned a little bit more with what I know as a person who has grown into using medicine as food. Certainly the benefits of celery are known, well, we know some of them, for anti-inflammatory type stuff, helping with arthritis and all those sorts of things. The celery seeds are normally used, but in this case it's the juice, because of the salts within the juice that assist with the body getting rid of pathogens and becoming healthy again, getting rid of gallstones and all those sorts of things. But he also does, it's not just celery that he does, he's got your heavy metal cleanse, which I believe is a combination of blueberries and wild blueberries and bananas and coriander and those sorts of things. I have done a lot of reading lately, so I'm a bit vague on all the details because there's so much going on. But certainly, if you do decide to do one of these things, read it properly and make sure you understand it fully. I recommend reading the book from front to back, reading it from cover to cover, and really deciding what you align with. But anyway, that was just something I found interesting, was this use of celery juice and other fruits and vegetables, which is mostly his diet. He does eat meat as well. He'll use Atlantic salmon and sardines and what's the other one? Trout. That's actually my favourite fish, trout. And you know, he's not a vegan type diet. There are others that are healing through vegan diets and through other means, but you know, you have to do your own research. And he actually says a lot of things against what Aajonus and what the GAPS diet says, especially regarding eggs. So it's really interesting. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I really want to encourage people now in these times with these things going around, and I don't want to mention any names or anything in particular, but viruses, because if I start talking about the virus, I might get shadow banned or something. I don't know. They might take my video down. But with these times where there's a lot of illnesses around, and it's not just the illness, there's flus and stomach bugs and whatever. There's bugs around, as well as heavy metals hitting us all the time, and illnesses like cancer and those more serious type things going on. So I sort of wanted to encourage you guys to do your own research and really read into what people are doing and make your own minds up. You know, I have things made up in my mind because of my experience, but maybe that doesn't align with you, and that's fine. But just don't listen to one source. Don't just go to your doctor and start taking pills because you're told that's the only option, when it may not be, and the other option might be better for you. I've sort of lived like that all my life, and I'm walking now because I lived that way. If I did everything that I was told to do by the medical professionals, doctors, I would not be walking. I can guarantee you that, because my bones would not have healed, and I'd be in all kinds of trouble from my recent injury. Also, I probably would be in a lot worse state as far as my health goes, because I wouldn't be conscious of the things that I'm conscious of, avoiding and also using as medicine. Using food will be thy medicine or something like that. But anyway, so do your own research. Don't just listen to one source. Go and look at other things. You know, like, my thoughts are predominantly plants are medical type healers, if you like. I don't believe that meat particularly does much as far as healing the body, and probably creates a little bit more problems. However, I did then go and look at Aajonus's theory and look at the GAPS diet and a few other smaller names that are out there, and looked at what they were doing, and it is working. So don't get too scientific and stuck in that narrow pathway. Look at everything. Go and research everything, including the Australian Constitution. Go and read it. Know what your rights are. Know what your civil rights are, more so than anything else. Just don't roll over. This is a time now where we really need to stand in our own power, and if you are going to believe in something, or you're going to try something, or you're going to do something, or whatever the situation is, just make sure that you can stand in that, and you're not just following the trends. You're not just watching the news and going, well, that's gospel, or you're not just listening to what a friend says and thinking, well, that's it. That's, you know, just be aware. And people come on here and call me an anti-vaxxer and an anti-this and an anti-that. I'm not anti-anything. If you truly believe that this virus or this problem is going to be a problem, that, you know, tetanus is your worst enemy or whatever. I get vaccinated for tetanus. Okay, that's one thing that I do believe in that does work, especially in humid areas and things like that, when you're working with horses and working in dirt all the time and stuff like that. But maybe if I was an office worker, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much. But anyway, these are the things that need to be considered before you go jumping on any bandwagon. Just make sure that you kind of know a few more things about the things that are outside that bandwagon. So if you believe that you're going to catch the flu every year, go and get a flu shot. If you believe that, do it, and do it with your own power. Don't do it because you're told to. Do it because you want to. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. And that's a big thing that people don't understand, is there is actually, you have rights regarding that. And it's about time that you stood up for who you are, because otherwise we're all going to be owned by someone soon, and then we're going to have big problems. So, you know, you don't have to look into all the conspiracies and all that, you know, stuff that's out there. You don't have to look into any of that. I do just because I'm interested. You know, some things I go, well, that's a bit nuts, and then it happens, and I think, oh, okay. But have your eyes open. Don't just do what you're told, because you are just as powerful as I am, just as powerful as your doctor is, just as powerful as the police are, just as powerful as anyone. You are human. We're all human. And we need to bloody remember that. Alright, I'm going to get off now because I think it's gone long enough. But anyway, let me have your thoughts in the comment. Please be kind. Don't be nasty to anyone, including me. Okay, because this is pretty controversial stuff. But do your own research. I have put the names of those 3 in the title of this video, so if you want to research them, go right ahead. Or if you want to add someone maybe to this conversation about something that they're doing that's different to these 3 and that's working for them, go right ahead. Let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye, YouTube.